So, prisons are coming to Star Citizen in 3.9. Of course, we've just had our big kind of pillar talk video that just came out, and I'll be talking about that, I guess, on Friday. But prisons, what do I think? Is it finally the harsh penalties that pirates deserve to pay? Are they getting, are we getting our comeuppance? That sort of thing. Do I agree with it? Do I disagree with it? And the short version is I agree with it. I think that it's a good thing. I wish it was at a site on one of the worlds. As far as I understand it currently, is that this is kind of a closed instance that you kind of you get teleported into when you res, and you end up kind of having to work your way out of this puzzle one way or another before you can rejoin the rest of the world. That is my understanding of how this is being implemented now. It may change in the future, but that's what I see. Now, why do I agree with it? Why do I think that it's a good idea to bring this in? And to be perfectly honest, I've said it before, it's like crime stat is nothing. Getting crime stat is absolutely nothing because you can just erase it by more or less suiciding via the UEE, who are more than happy to oblige. It's not really a challenging mechanic in the game. Whatever the implementation was meant to fulfill, it doesn't fulfill it. It doesn't add any type of realism or immersion to the universe. Financial penalties are kind of a step in the right direction, but hacking has been problematic. The hacking chips are overly expensive, in my opinion. And frankly, it's time consuming. And when the old death by, escape, the death escape existed, and well, for a limited time still exists, it really doesn't reinforce the need to explore that gameplay. And I bet you one of the reasons why this probably got, kind of pushed ahead and, put out the door is because no one was using the hacking chips and no one really cared. It was just kind of, oh, well, I guess I've got 5 crime stat, suicide, back to normal, and I can do everything and visit every location in the game. We know that that's not going to be the final state of things, right? We understand that as the game evolves and as things kind of move along, we're going to develop, negative reputations in certain areas that we may have to combat in the future. We may have to, go through long ordeals to kind of rectify our social situation with the authorities and the the different groups within the game. Why is that a good thing? Why should it be there? And I think that it should be there because of realism. It should be there because you build a negative reputation where you are. And one of the things that I love about all of the old gangster movies and all the big crime syndicate films of the past was that things were going really well for them until they got too flashy, they got too big, until they started getting a little too ahead of themselves, and then it all came apart. And I feel that as much as you watch these films and they kind of make the same mistake over and over again, it's an important reminder to engage in criminal behavior, but mind your behavior as well, and be careful about making sure you're not building up too much negative reputation. Otherwise, prison will ensue. I think that it's a good thing that it's there, because with the inconvenience, it's going to force players to be a little bit smarter about how they commit crimes in the Star Citizen universe, which I think broadly is a good thing. It will, in its own kind of Darwinian way, it will weed out those that just can't kind of hack it, and it's going to reward those who can, those who think, those who just don't go, oh, well, here's another opportunity to just blow up another ship. It's, you're going to have to set up your crimes. You're going to have to think about each heist and what you hope to get out of it and what you can do to minimize the risks, and is it worth the risk? You're going to have to be a lot more careful about how you do things, and then in the aftermath, if you have a negative rep, you're going to have to look for ways to erase that, whether it's crime stat fines or whatnot. It's going to make it a lot more involved to play the game, and it's going to kind of move it away from this kind of, I just want to sit down and shoot things type of gameplay to something that you really have to think about, something that really kind of, something that really kind of exercises the brain. Because for me, when I play a lot of these shooter games and whatnot, I get bored so easily with them because everyone kind of has the same equipment or the equivalent to it. You can be this kit, you can be that kit, whatever. And, it feels like it's missing a lot of depth. And I prefer games where I get to, when I'm not playing them, I'm thinking about them. I'm thinking about, what if I did this? What if I did that? What if I did things differently? How about, if I did this first and, shut down the satellite so they can't see me commit the crime? That totally negates the need to, do these other things. That sort of kind of thoughtful approach to gameplay is, I think, a much more enjoyable and rewarding approach. And I think that is the way that CIG is going. Well, I don't think it. I mean, obviously, that's the way that they're going. And so I think that it's going to be a good thing because it's going to add some depth to criminal gameplay. But at the same time, I can't emphasize this enough. What would actually add some real depth to criminal gameplay to go along with this? Some actual real criminal gameplay. I'm talking about tractor beams that work. I'm talking about NPC cargo ships, or even if you're fighting, like a UEE Starfare and it drops cargo, you can actually scoop up that cargo and sell it. I'm talking about those reclamation sites actually working and being able to take someone's ship there and sell it. Maybe lowering the cost on the chips that you use to hack things with. All that sort of stuff. That's what I would like to see working, something that kind of reinforces not only just the penalties end of things, but something that builds up and really kind of adds to the complexity of pirate gameplay in the universe right now. I feel that, we're kind of leaning into the penalties right now. I think we should also, maybe now that this prison thing is out, we should look at getting some real piracy in the Star Citizen universe. Some real cargo ships that can be pilfered for their cargo. Now, in the same conversation, they kind of hinted. Well, they didn't really hint. They said that with salvage being the next career. It's not on the roadmap yet, but they said with salvage being the next career. I know, promises. And as someone who owns a reclaimer, trust me, we've been down this road so many times, but salvage does offer a unique potential to kind of break into that because you can salvage the ships you attack, the ships that you destroy. So maybe the game can't handle spawning in a whole bunch of cargo crates. Maybe tractor beams are still far and away, but then again, I guess tractor beams are part of salvage as well. So who knows? It's going to be very interesting to see how these things shape up. I'm glad that they're bringing prisons in. I'm glad that they're bringing real penalties to criminal gameplay, something that adds some depth and some value to that world, beyond just the usual missions that we have now, but something that really kind of leans into that life. I'm really happy that they're bringing it out, but at the same time, I want to see some more broader forms of piracy working in the game. I'd love to see hacking off of the Herald or any other ship that has like a hacking module equipped on it, however that's going to work. Things like that. I would like to see more of these things fleshed out. But, finding out that salvage is out there, I might have to buckle down and get those stronger shields that people were talking about for the Reclaimer. I mean, it's a ways off, but things could get interesting. Anyways, that's the show for today. I wish there was more to do with piracy beyond just the prisons, but I don't know. We'll see. Anyways, yeah. So I'm glad, I hope you enjoyed the show, and thanks for watching.
Thank you for watching. So if you want to keep up with the latest and greatest in Star Citizen and Squadron 42's development, please follow us on our social media channels. See you soon.